Do you also feel kind of lied to when people say this is the most wonderful time of the year? And there's a whole song about it too. Well, don't worry, guys, you're not alone because I think that December and the holidays are such an interesting time of year. I think that traditionally, Christmas has always been such a fun part of the year for me, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate. But let's highlight the importance of the season and not put so much emphasis on just the holidays. I think what can take the joy out of the season is not only the cold weather, depending on where you live, of course, but this obsession with the consumer side of everything, which happens to be the case for many things nowadays. I think it's really important that we take the time to slow down. I believe that November is a good transition period for that. And then sometimes December hits and we're not fully immersed in the season. I believe that this is kind of universal depending on how you see this time of year and where you are located. So I do live in a place with 4 seasons. And although this can be such a beautiful and wonderful, very fun thing, on the same token, it can be quite difficult, and maintaining habits I find can be harder. I've definitely given myself some slack this month. I think my productivity has slowed down a lot, and that is something to honor. We don't need to be completely occupied year round and performing at our highest and best. Truthfully, I think this is the time that we're supposed to hibernate as well. I think in nature, we've often kind of prepared for the winter months and seen it as this time of rest and restoration. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that we kind of forget that's what it's about nowadays and try to force life to be the same year round. When we don't live by season, we don't live by the way our bodies and minds react to these said seasons, it can be quite difficult to adjust with no room to really allow yourself to debrief and let go a bit. I've been taking this month to read a little more, spend some time with my pets, do things sort of Christmassy related. I've also put focus on my gifts being very personalized this year round. In the past, I put a lot of money into my presents for others, but not time. So I'm doing something a little special for everyone in my life this year, something that's more cost efficient, sure, but also comes more from the heart as well. I also wanted to acknowledge the fact that I haven't really posted in a bit. I'd attempted to not long ago, and the audio was a bit choppy on my last video. And then upon sort of looking at the video and hearing the quality, I also just felt it wasn't coming from the place I wanted it to. I don't think that we should place expectations on ourselves to maintain things as always. It's okay to change, and it's okay for patterns to renew. I also think that it's important to maintain the things that do really change our lives long term, like our health, our rest, and our body's natural ability to heal. And if we're not putting attention to those things and we're so focused on the world around us, at times you'll feel quite disconnected from yourself. I know I've been there. I know I've been struggling with that. So I'm sure there are some people who could relate as well. The beauty of this season for me is that I'm reflecting a lot personally. Kind of looking back at my whole year as this journey I got to take to evolve who I am as a person. My travel experiences and the new friends I've made, the things I've learned, all before re-entering my educational journey my academics. I was off this whole year. So I guess 2025 for me should look quite exciting. In some ways, it is. And in others, it's a beautiful reminder to allow things to happen when they're meant to and to never force life because it's happening. When I was in Monaco, I saw a post, like a poster actually, in a shop that said, "Life is what happens when you're too busy planning it." So nowadays, I just remind myself to live anyways and cut myself some slack. And I hope you guys do the same.